Hello, Empowered Woman. Welcome to this episode of the Empowered Woman podcast, and let's cut right to the chase. Do you want to increase your confidence levels? Do you want encouragement and accountability to become more visible and increase your impact? Do you feel stuck? Are you not making the connections you want to? Are you not finding the right people? As a business owner, you need clients and partners. Are you tired of chasing people and DMing aimlessly? Then Shine Bright and Connect is for you. So when I was planning this episode, I was actually going to repurpose the audio of one of my 3 trainings that I did this week inside my Facebook group outlining the program Shine Bright and Connect. And the final video that I did on Thursday was with 3 of my clients who have also went on to sign up for Shine Bright and Connect. And the conversation was so amazing. As we were talking, I was like, this is going to be a podcast episode. I've gotten their permission. I've gotten their green light. And here it is. Please welcome Nina Macri, Bella Bliss, and Heather Sacrison. These amazing ladies will share a little bit of their story, what they do, how they came to know me, how they've signed up for other programs of mine, and why ultimately they decided that Shine Bright and Connect is the next step for them in their journey, and also to close out the year with a bang. Once again, we begin Tuesday, October 26th. And I'm hoping this will be it. This will make you want to jump on in and join us. All the links are in the show notes. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to start believing in yourself, giving yourself permission to succeed, and let your voice be heard to make an impact in the world as an entrepreneur, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Here we are about to do this live interview. I asked my amazing clients, some of them who have been working with me and also decided to join Shine Bright and Connect, to come in, talk about them and talk about themselves and share why they decided to join the program. So I'm super, super grateful. And something else that I've noticed along the way is that, hi, Joe, thanks for joining us, is that it's such a win-win opportunity to showcase your clients and showcase people that are in your network, whether they are clients or not. But especially if they are clients, you should be working on doing that because everyone wants to be seen, whether they say it or not. And that's something I pulled out a card yesterday from I have a little deck of Danielle Laporte or whatever her name is. It's like inspirational stuff. And what the card said, everyone wants to be seen and heard, no exceptions. And it is so true. We may, for people that are introverts, and I know Heather and Nina are more in that category than not. Bella, you are an introvert? I don't believe it. You consider yourself an introvert? Bella? Ooh, did you get muted?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
On all personality tests, I'm 50-50.
50-50. Okay. Yeah. Well, when people say that, and I know a lot of times it's just something to hide behind, right? And regardless, even if we say I would rather not be seen, I've asked in so many different groups and talked to so many people, like, would you rather be invisible and make sales, or would you want to show up and make sales? And so many people are like, I want to be completely hidden under a rock and be making money. But the thing about that isn't that a fear of rejection? Because what if they see me and then they decide, I don't really want this, So deep rooted in all of us is this fear of rejection. And it keeps us from our potential. It keeps us from helping people with what we have. But not to go on a tangent here, I would love to have the ladies introduce themselves to begin with, and then we'll get down to business and talking about Shine Bright and Connect. So Bella, why don't you start? Tell us. And also, we're going to have to clarify how we met, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I told Marta this morning, no, this is how we met. So yes, I am Bella Bliss. I am a transformational empowerment life coach, and just super happy to be here. I've been with Marta's programs since I met her, I think.
I think it was like January, February-ish.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I've just seen such a change in myself And I know that's going to impact my clients as well. So yeah, thank you for having me today.
Yay, so excited. Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather Rose. I'm a virtual assistant and a podcast producer. And I met Marta at a Gary Barnes event, or through a Gary Barnes event. I don't think we ever actually talked at the events, but I was just like, she's cool. Like, I need to hook up with her. You just have that like vivacious nature that I was just like, yeah. So, and we've started our coaching, and I like already, I have gotten so many ideas. I was going to send you a Voxer today, but I forgot. But I will later because I'm just really excited about.
Oh my gosh! I can't wait. Suspense. Okay, that's so awesome. Yeah. So, almost a year now since we first connected, and then you joined the school, and we'll talk about that a couple months ago. So that's super exciting. And Nina.
Hi everyone. My name is Nina. I live in Romania, as Marta said. I call myself a podcast outreach manager, and this means that I help my clients get booked on podcast interviews. So we known each other for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I will be forever grateful because you took that leap of faith and started working with me, even though back then, like, my confidence was so low. But thanks to you, I am here today, and I feel that I've grown so much. So even if we didn't work the entire time together, I still watched you. I saw you grow, and I'm so inspired by you.
Oh, thank you, Nina, so much. I love it. Hi, C. Thanks for joining us. So it's almost like everything overlaps, but I do want to get into how we started working together individually, and then and how the differences you have noticed. And I love that Nina already said, even when we weren't working together, because you were actually working, I hired you. That's how it all started. But then you were following my journey. But it's such an interesting space to be in when you're working like as a virtual assistant or with the outreach, because it's almost like you're part of my team, but I am paying you, but you're seeing the behind the scenes and you're seeing the growth. And I think it's a great way to really see what that person is about, right? Because you're not in the client position. And that could make or break. Like, she's a weirdo. She's paying me, but don't want to be a part of it, which thankfully was not the case. So I'm excited to hear a little more about you ladies. What caught your attention, and what is it that you started working for Bella and Heather? It was the membership school, and then with Nina, it was a little bit different. So Bella, let's clarify, because I actually mentioned you ladies a couple days ago in the lives that I was doing as testimonials, right? And I said, well, but they're going to come in and they're going to expand. And I kind of got the story wrong. And I love when Bella messaged me this morning, she's like, well, this is actually how we met, how I saw you for the first time. And I love that she said that, because it proves the point of everything that I do. The visibility and exposure matters. And just yesterday, I was talking to somebody and they said, I've been seeing your posts. And I've told myself that if I see somebody come across me in different capacities at least 3 times, I know it's a sign that I need to reach out and get to know them. And I was like, that is genius, because it's so true. And we blow these things off so much. And it's like, no, it's for a reason. Please lean in, because it's going to keep coming around. So Bella, take it away.
Yeah, I clarified this morning with Marta, because I actually met Marta on a summit, and I happened to see part of her program or part of her interview. And all I remembered was Brazilian and triplets. And I really liked her bubbly style and everything. I was like, wow, she's amazing. And I didn't even get her name because they already went on to the next speaker. So I was really bummed out about it. And then I didn't have a chance to watch the show again. So I saw her again on Rose's live. I was like, that's the woman. So I think that you had your availability already ready for me to sign up for a call. And that's how I got you for the second time. Otherwise, I would have just been, with my hands up wondering who was that, because there were so many speakers that one day. But when I saw you on Rose, and that's how I met Rose too, was on the same summit.
Was on that same summit, yeah. And I remember after, so look how amazing things are. After I spoke at that summit, which is how you first saw me, and I connected with Rose because I saw her speaking and I was like, she's amazing. I said, come speak to my membership. And then we really hit it off. She was like, oh, I would love to have you on my podcast. And by the way, I know this person that's doing a summit. I think you would be a great fit. I will introduce you to her, which was Jen Ludington. She introduced me to Jen. Jen does this summit and then says, I'm going to turn this summit into a book. So this is the book that I go off. Isn't that insane? Like one thing leads to the other. And it's like the beauty of being visible and just keep showing up and connecting with people. When you see something in somebody, don't brush it off, right? Go lean into it. Because oftentimes we're like, we either think she's too good for me. She would never want to be around me. That's one. Or she's in a similar niche. There may be a conflict of interest. Not going to do it. Don't go down that path and really follow your intuition, because these, I really believe it's like intuitive, right? You see something in these people. And something else that I love of you sharing this with me, like triplets and being Brazilian, because oftentimes I'm like, oh, here I go again, saying that I have triplets. Like, I don't want to use this as my woe is me story, but I mean, it is my story. So sometimes I feel insecure as well. Tell me something about you. I sing. I'm from Brazil. It's like boring. I've said this over and over again, but for people, it's not boring. You know, so I feel it too. I'm learning. Heather, tell me more. So we already told me, but go ahead.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So I saw you at the Gary Barnes event back in January. And I am actually the virtual assistant for Gary Barnes. So like I had heard your name and he had talked about you, of course. And you went up on stage and talked about how his coaching has helped you so much. And you talked about the triplets and how you like had come out of your shell for so many things. And it just inspired me as I was like, oh my gosh, like she's amazing. She's got so much fire and energy. And I was so nervous. It's the first time I'd been at any kind of event like that. And I didn't talk to anybody that I didn't already know yet. So I should reach out, but I didn't. I don't think I even followed you on Facebook until later in the spring. And then in July, we saw each other again at Gary Barnes' event. And I was like, okay, nope, this is it. Like, I'm like, I still love her. I think she's still amazing. So I got to hook up with her. And then I got in your Empowered Woman School. And the rest is history.
Well, and the rest is history. Well, the other side of the story is, and this is something that I shared the other day in my live, is that I was having that same like imposter syndrome, feeling like Heather was like, oh, I don't know her. I'm just talking to the people that I know, or you're busy, or we create the stories. And on my end, I was thinking, she's already working with Gary. She has the behind the scenes. She knows it all. Why would she need me? Gary's amazing, you know? And then when I told Gary this, he was like, she's not working with me. So it's like we create the stories in our heads. So I finally got over myself and I reached out to you and I said, hey, Heather, good to see you, because you were on stage at his event too. So you were visible. So that's another point. You weren't just sitting, you made yourself visible. So I was like, oh, I would love to, podcast, all the stuff. Let's talk. And I invited you to come check out one of the sessions in the school for one, which I thought you would have said, no, that's fine. Because in my head, it's like, I have Gary. I don't need you, Marta. And she said, yes, sweet. She comes in same day. She's like, oh, I want to join the school. It's amazing. I was like, all right, cool. And a couple months later, she's like, I want to work with you one-on-one. Wait, what? Where? So we are all the same. We're all thinking these things like, who am I? You are amazing. So put yourself out there.
And you really don't know. We wouldn't know that we would connect at all. But we did.
We did. So it's an amazing story. I love it. And Nina, tell us, we have a long tail.
Exactly. So when I first started working with you, like my goal was just to work behind the scenes. Because being an introvert, I thought that, this is enough. But then in December last year, I made a decision that this year I'm going to be braver and I'm going to be more visible. And actually, I don't know if you remember, but in February, you tagged me in a group. Someone was interested in interviewing virtual assistants and you tagged me. I went and I recorded that interview. but unfortunately it was not released. But for me, it was a great experience because this gave me the push to keep going. And then I was I was a speaker at the summit in April. And then I don't know what just happened. Like, we all have ups and downs, and things didn't go well for me. And it was then when I actually snoozed you, because I was seeing you all over the place on Facebook and Instagram. And actually, I realized that wasn't the answer for me, And this is why when you started your program, I said, I'm in. And then actually 2 days after I joined the program, I just, I listened to a podcast interview, and this lady was talking about how actually there is a scientific explanation, because when you are looking at people with anything other than joy, you actually tell your brain that this is not good for you, this is dangerous. But when you flip it, and when you start to admire those people, and when you start seeing them in a new light, then it is when you are going to make the click, and when it's going to work for you too.
That is so wonderful.
Exactly. Like, this is why, I joined your program 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel so much confident, so much comfortable. This is what I'm looking to be more comfortable talking to people and having conversations. And this changed everything.
And it really, what is the word? It rubs it in or brushes off. I don't know. It's contagious, right? I know the expression. Yeah. And Brazilian, it's contagious, right? When you get, so it's like, that's why I say that I've learned, if you really see something in someone, especially a mentor, that you want, instead of saying, I can't be around because it's competition or whatever, get close, because then that's what you're going to feel. And that's one of the things that Gary says, it's borrowed belief. If they believe in themselves so much that they're so successful, guess what? There's a little bit extra for you. And then you're going to start believing in yourself as well. And one interesting point about Nina and I in our story is that she posted in a group about a course that was being advertised. This was in the Boss Moms group about doing podcasting outreach. And she said she sat on this for a long time until she finally posted and said, who would be interested in investing in this course? And then I will do the outreach for you because I will take the course. And that's how we started. So it was kind of like a bartering of sorts. Like, the course was mine, but I gave her access, and she did, because it was for virtual assistants. It wasn't for the person, but I would have access to it anyways. And that's how her whole career started. It's like, because I was like, I need the help, but I don't want to spend the money on an actual person. I'll spend the money on the course, and then you can benefit from the education of the course. So it was such a win-win. And I remember through time, Nina was like, oh, I don't want to be in the spotlight. Oh, this is good for you, Marta, but not for me. And now, full disclosure, Nina, I will say, in the same fashion as I kind of felt like I was good enough for Heather because she was already with Gary in the behind the scenes. I was
that cracks me up.
Because I interviewed, or I recommended you to another business owner, Stephanie Gass.
Yes.
Who has grown amazingly, who has done amazing things. And then I was always assuming, wow, so now Nina's going to get all the scoop. She's just going to be growing. And here I am, woe is me. And it's not what you're feeling at all. So
no.
Stories we create in our heads. So super grateful. Hi, Jamie. Amazing. So let's move on into working together and what you have experienced before Shine Bright and Connect. And then, because that's something else too that we have to keep in mind. Once somebody invests in something with you, if they have a good experience, hopefully, it's a lot easier for them to want to do something else, because they're like, I want to keep up the momentum. And I feel this with my mentors. I mean, I've been with Gary for over a year now. And there's a reason for that, because I'm like, I don't want to let you go because things are working out. Not that I don't believe in myself, but it's having that guidance and keeping with the momentum. So I would love to hear from you ladies, your experience so far in the programs that we've been together. And then we'll talk about Shine Bright and Connect. Bella.
Well, I suppose mine all started with the Empowered Women's School. Each week on Friday is just amazing, and I just love seeing everybody's progress as well. So that's also inspiring. I've been in groups before where I didn't feel like I was seen. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really felt from you, that I really felt seen. And that's my mantra, is to be seen, be heard, and be limitless. So we fall in alignment with that, just getting out there. So I need to get out there so I can share my message. And that's what Empowered Women's School helped with. And then just the other programs, every time you have a program, it was just so much value, even just in the 1 week. Mm-hmm. I mean, the once a week program that we have with you in the Empowered Women's School, that I have gone into your other programs, and I just feel like I metamorphosize because I feel so inspired just even after the day to go on live or to go on and do a post and not think twice about it, because I think that's what happens is we overthink it and then we don't do it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so you joined Show Up Empowered, you came to my recent masterclass, and then you decided let's work on one-on-one together, and then you're Shine Bright and Connect. And it's been amazing to watch your journey, and you're always reporting back. I love that you send of like opportunities showing up and co-authoring a book, more speaking engagements, people reaching out in the DMs and saying, thank you for this content. It's really helping me. Mm-hmm. Things that we can only dream of when we first start. And we're like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Well,
right.
You got to keep showing up, right? You got to keep making yourself visible and keep sharing the content, and it compounds. And it's almost like, that's the thing that they say, like a compound effect or whatever books you read, or the Atomic Habits. When you see the big explosion, you're like, oh my gosh, this happened overnight. No, thing was steaming for a while, you know? Yeah. And then, but that's what people see. But you know better, and you know the journey. And even after the explosion, we forget again, and we're like, when is it going to happen again? Ready? We got to remind ourselves. Let's keep.
So I would definitely say the confidence booster that I get when I work with you is just, it is explosive. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
I love that. And C says, Marta is a firecracker. I will take that because I agree with it. And that's what I want to turn everyone into. And sometimes I get a little worried because it's like, well, but the introverts don't necessarily want to be firecrackers. But I'm deciding that everybody wants to be, again, seen. It doesn't have to be on stage, but you do want to be recognized. That's why we become business owners. Otherwise, you just be an employee. But regardless, even as employees, we want to be seen and recognized. So this whole story that people create, that it's like, I want to hide under a rock, that's not true. Anyways, Heather.
I also wanted to add too, that your personality, you have been thinking at one point that you're too much, or you've heard that you're too much, and mine's the same. But just as what you mentioned, you realize that there are others who don't feel like they're enough, or they're not sure what is enough, or what's that balance. Totally. And I think that's what you really help us with, no matter what our personality is like, no matter how much, we want to or resist to not show up, that you help us with what's good for us. And I think that's what's really important for me.
Yes. Oh, I am so grateful for that. Thank you. Because I do worry about that, because I just do so much. It's like, I think it's time to stop now. And I know some people may be looking and saying, tone it down, or sometimes they may even, I have had people in communities, because that's one of the things that I'll be teaching in the program is become a celebrity in the communities that you're in, within your niche, within your expertise, within your personality. When I say celebrity, what does that mean to you? It's not full blown sparkles if that's not who you are. But sometimes people have that idea in their heads that the celebrity is, I'm going to be Shakira everywhere I go. Like, no, you're going to be who you are. But what does that look like? And I've had people in groups message me before and say, girl, you're posting way too much. They weren't the admin or anything of the group. They were just one of the participants. And they took it upon themselves to message me and say, like, tone it down. And then I mentioned it to other people. Rude. Or like jealousy 101. I mentioned it to other people, and they were like, no, Marta, this is amazing how you show up. Stop it. Don't even go there. Don't even agree with them. So it's the same thing of, it's bothering them. And that's what I've learned. If it's bothering you, investigate, right? And lean into it. Heather.
Love it. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I started with you was the Empowered Women's School. And I love it. I love those calls that we have almost every Friday. Like there are just so many good nuggets, from everybody in that group that I've been able to take and like actually use. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many good ideas, so much good content just from like just something that just went click. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Because a huge thing I've been struggling with is just showing up on social media to actually, let people know that I'm there.
Yeah.
And, have you seen that reel? Like you have to show your products so people know exists. Like that one cracks me up because I'm like, oh yeah, nobody knows what I do because I don't talk about it.
Yeah. Totally.
But being in those groups or in those calls are just so helpful. Yeah. And I've just loved it. And you have that whole Empowered Women's course that I've been slowly going through. And one of the first things that we did was doing a personality test. And I had not done one of those in a very long time, just because I was just like, I don't need to know. Like, I don't really care. But it was kind of like, oh, that's why I do that.
Oh, it's so
it was really nice to actually figure out, why I have these weird little quirks, and it's okay. And I should just lean into it.
Oh yeah. Totally.
But yeah. So
I love that.
I'm loving it.
And something to add is that's why I love the group setting. Yeah. I do enjoy doing one-on-one, but to be honest, it's a lot easier to do the one-on-one when the person is also a part of a group, because you get this insight from other people. You get to hear the same things that I say in a different way. And then it speeds up the process because you have somewhere, well, especially with the work that I do in encouraging you and pushing you to be out there, you have to be seen in a group. Right. And usually the group is a little bit safer than the whole internet.
Yeah.
Right? So let's test it out and start there until you feel comfortable, which you should never feel 100% comfortable because everything is a risk. But, comfortable enough to put yourself out there into the actual world and get people to know what you're doing as a business. So
yeah,
I love that.
Like you encouraging me, it's like, when your mom says I love you, like, of course you love me, you're my mom, of course you're encouraging me, you're my coach. But hearing everybody else be like, oh yeah, you can do this, it's huge.
It's different. Totally.
I love that group.
And again, it has everything to do with what we're going to be doing in the program, because my focus with the program is having this container where we're going to be practicing with each other first, the whole let's support each other, let's collaborate, let's engage in each other's stuff. Let's find win-win opportunities for each other. And then you can expand this and in every community that you're a part of, because a part of the program is going to be auditing all the communities you're a part of and really grading yourself. How are you showing up in these communities? Because I can guarantee you all of us are a part of groups that are just waiting for amazing opportunities, like that have amazing opportunities we're just not tapping into. For one, there's not enough time in the day. I understand. But getting organized and intentional. I mean, I myself have memberships that I'm a part of that I have kind of slacked because I'm focusing on other stuff. But it's things that if I'm like, I'm dedicated, I'm going to show up and connect with the people in there, something is going to come out of it. So staying organized with that. And Nina.
Yeah, so I joined your program because I wanted to learn from you. I wanted to know your tips and tricks, right? Mm-hmm. So I invested in other programs this year, but what I loved about your program is that we were like a smaller group and we had direct access to you. And this is so important because I was in another program, but then we only had access to the mentors, not to the program owners. So, yeah.
So that's something that, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I wanted to mention that you gave me, you were like the cherry on the top because, I had some graphics in my Canva account and I was thinking, I'm going to post these when I'm going to be more successful. Mm-hmm. Right? But then you came along and you said, hey, you have to do it now. You have to talk about what you do. You have to show them you are an expert. And how do you show them that? Yeah. You have to talk about what you do. So this is why I was so proud when I posted my framework because
so good. Yeah, it was funny because I saw it on Instagram and I was like, man, she is just going all in. And then you had posted in the program group saying, hey, ladies, this is what I did. It only took me a year, but here we go.
Exactly.
I love it. So good. And that is so true. So something that happened this morning is I'm working with a team that is helping me do outreach, especially as I'm doing this launch, and to build my group. At times it makes me uneasy. So it's kind of like growing pains because it's other cooks in the kitchen type thing. And it's like micromanage. You're not doing exactly as I want you to do. Or sometimes they are, but you still want to kind of look, it's like, it's my baby. And you're like not fully, sure if they're doing it how you want it to do. And they send out messages to people. And I make it a point to go back to specific people that I'm in touch with, because some people don't respond, to be like, hey, my VA is actually helping me send these messages, but I would love to have you. And I've been doing that just as kind of like a gut, like I want to clarify just so it doesn't look so robotic, even though the message does not, but I wanted to. And then somebody this morning said, oh, I really loved that you added this personal touch and sent this other message. It just really brightened up my day. And I said, well, thank you for saying that, because I was wondering. It is a concern when you're growing. Like, I want to make sure I'm still personal with these people, but I also need to delegate because I can't possibly do everything myself. But I believe there has to be a balance, right? Still being approachable, still being around, because I've heard of several instances where the team is there, but it's not the person. And when you buy a program from someone, you want to be in touch with them, right? So I'm happy that made a difference for you. Yay! Awesome. And thank you for the ladies that are watching and agreeing. C says it's part of human design to want acceptance and all its derivatives, including recognition. I agree, Bella. Marta, you're amazing. You are the whole package. Never tone yourself down. Thank you. I will not. I'm working on it. So let's talk about specifically about Shine Bright and Connect, because I have shared this. I have even had some like second guessing moments of, is this really relevant? Like, how is it really different from my other program? Because I'm always talking about visibility, even though I know the difference. I'm like, we always get in our heads in some moments and we're like, scratch it all off. Nobody needs this. Hide in a corner. So I would love to hear your perspective on what caught your attention. You're like, no, I really need in on this, even though I have access to Marta in other capacities. Bella.
Well, I know for me, when I do your programs, sometimes it just takes me a little while to let it sit in. So I work on my own time and I don't like to be rushed. And that's one of the things I love about you, is that you don't push people. You just let people marinate and do their own thing and encourage them along the way. But you like to see them do their own thing. And I think that's what really helps me, is that I'm able to see how I'm progressing each week. And so I already know that each program that you make is not a repetition of the last